The Combined Fund Drive was created through an executive order by Governor John Spellman in 1984. In 2000, the Executive Ethics Board officially deemed CFD a business of the state, allowing its volunteers to use state time and resources to run their campaigns. In 2003, the CFD officially transitions from being an executive order to being a part of state law through the passage of RCW 41.04.033. This allows for the program to create a set of WACs and also ensures the CFD remains through statutes for years to come. The CFD created one of the first online giving stations for public employees in 2004. The CFD giving system has become one of the easiest and most innovative in the country. In 2010, the CFD moved from the Department of Personnel, where it was housed from the beginning, to the Office of Secretary of State. Some facts and figures of the Combined Fund Drive. The program has raised $135 million since 1984. $5.3 million was pledged yet again in 2016, making Washington one of only 4 states that gives more than $5 million annually. There are over 4,500 member charities in the program. The CFD assists more than 900 volunteers statewide during the campaign. The average monthly pledge is $10 a month. There are 3 different ways to give through the CFD. Payroll contribution. This is by far one of the most used options for donors. You can give monthly through your paycheck, give a one-time gift at any time, and even start a limited time donation with a start and end date. Fundraising events also bring in thousands of dollars for the member charities of the CFD. Donors can give cash, checks as long as they're made out to the CFD, and even credit cards through the program. The Volunteer Tracker is one of the newest pieces of the CFD. Created in 2013, the Volunteer Tracker allows state employees to log hours they have worked at CFD member charities, showcasing the savings that our donors provide our charities on top of their very generous monetary giving. So how does our volunteer structure work? Each agency has a campaign leader who recruits other volunteers to help facilitate CFD activities throughout their agency or higher education institution. Local coordinators are chosen to promote events, ask employees to give, and market the campaign in their own local offices. Your role as campaign leader is to recruit. Both local coordinators and county committee members in King and Thurston counties. Communicate to not only your donors and teammates, but also with your agency management. Set overarching goals and themes for your campaign. Log fundraisers at the end of your campaign on behalf of all of your volunteers, and finally, make the ask in your own offices. Now let's talk benefits. For charities, it's free to join. It helps reduce administrative costs. It helps charities plan their budgets for the year to come, and our member charities have access to thousands of potential donors. Here is a list of different services that help charities make $1. As you can see, the CFD is not only competitive with some forms of giving, in fact, it beats many of them. The community impact left by our charities and our donors is also incredibly inspiring. Just ask people like the Sanchez family. Habitat for Humanity built them a home and helped turn their lives around. Habitat says it takes $50,000 to build a home in the South Puget Sound area. And since 2008, CFD donors have given $305,000 to Habitat for Humanity of the South Puget Sound. That means the CFD is directly responsible for building 6 homes in the South Puget Sound area. Or kids like Annabelle. Annabelle is one of the thousands of children who have been helped by food banks around our state. Food banks whose pantries are filled with food provided to them by Northwest Harvest. Northwest Harvest says that 67 cents feeds a family of 3 with their incredible buying power. Since 2008, more than $1.4 million has gone to Northwest Harvest from the CFD. That means the CFD is responsible for feeding more than 1 million families over the last decade. For donors, the benefits are clear. It's easy. It's safe. It's your choice. It's tax deductible, and you can even choose to give anonymously. take a look at some of the most popular ways to give and the administrative fees associated with using each of these services. As you can see, the CFD is once again competitive with almost every form of giving. So how does the CFD get to a 7.8 administrative fee to the charity? Well, the CFD has a non-specified fund. This fund is replenished through payroll contributions, agency fundraising events that do not specify a charity, corporate donations, and interest earned on the CFD's bank account. The CFD takes all operational costs out of this fund first. If there are any remaining funds left in the account, they get dispersed to our member charities. If costs remain, an administrative fee is charged to our member charities on a percentage of the whole. The CFD runs its annual giving campaign from October to December every year. But as you can see, events can be put on outside of the designated campaign time period and still be considered sanctioned CFD events. And these are the basics of the CFD.